In the past, on the outskirts of Osaka City, there was a person who lived by collecting trash. His name was Gohei, and lived in a tattered hut. In winter, the bitter cold penetrates through the cracks into the house, and the only furniture the owner of this house has are just bunches of rags. He could N&39 do a single worthwhile thing in his whole life. He fails at everything, perhaps because he is too slow and too afraid, and perhaps he does not believe in his own strength, but is always self-conscious. He doesn't #39 even have a wife, but who would be willing to marry such a poor, unlucky husband? Once again, the end of the year, Gohei had nothing to welcome, not even a handful of rags, let alone food or firewood. Cold wind blew through the cracks and snow began to fall. This time, it probably won and number 39 be fun at all. Not to mention partying, he didn't #39 even have a fire to warm himself and had to starve to welcome spring. Then he thought about removing the boards from the house and number 39's walls to light a fire to keep warm. The image of a warm fire made him a little more enthusiastic, so he immediately got to work. Removing the paneling was not difficult, because his house was only poorly built and not sturdy. He took off the first panel, and just as he was removing the second panel, he suddenly stopped. In the hole where the first board had just been removed, an old man with gray beard and hair all around his austere-looking face appeared, a small man, as tall as Gohei and #39's waist, walking from the hidden place. "Go out." The old man and number 39's gray hair and beard covered his pale face. He wore ragged gray clothes, old hemp shoes, and on his shoulder he carried a small, patched gray bag. Gohei gasped in surprise. But the old man said in a calm voice, "It and number 39's strange that you Don and number 39 recognize me. I and number 39 we've been behind this wall for a long time, and I thought you were my friend. And even if you Don and number 39 notice, I am still, and I feel comfortable here. Lately, you and number 39 they've been in such dire straits, even for me, because now you and number 39 they ruined my place, so I have to look for another place. A new year begins again, a very favorable time. I bet he wasn't an #39 angry that I had to say goodbye to him, and I thought he would be willing to have a drink with me to say goodbye." Gohei was confused and silent for a while, then tearfully replied, "Dear God, please forgive me. I and number 39 am very sorry for being impolite to you. I can and number 39 drink with you, because I Don and number 39 have a drop of wine right now. And there and number 39 nothing to invite you to either." Having finished speaking, because he was so sad, he burst into tears. The god tilted his head in pity, then searched in his small bag. Then said, "I didn't and #39 expect you to be so poor that you Don and number 39 have a drop of wine to drink at the beginning of the new year." The god took a string from his bag with some copper coins and gave it to Gohei. "Hey, take the money and go to the street to buy a bottle of wine, a small bag of rice and some charcoal." Gohei left for a while and came back immediately. The money was just enough. "I bought a fish." He put it all on the table. After eating, they poured wine and drank, recalling old stories of the past years. It and number 39's been a long time since he and number 39 had a comfortable year-end afternoon like this. After finishing the bottle of wine, the god of the poor said, "You are naturally a good and lovely person. Talking to him is very comfortable. So I decided to do him a favor. I see that you have no possible solution to your poverty. So I will help you have a better life in the future. Now listen carefully to what I say. Exactly at midnight, on New Year and number 39's Eve, stand in front of the pagoda of the four heavenly kings. When the first bell rings signaling the arrival of the new year, 3 knights will pass in front of the temple. The first person wore all yellow, the second person all white, and the third person all black. The 3 of them are all serious, but Don and number 39's be afraid. Be brave enough to approach the first person, grab his horse and number 39's reins and hold on tightly. If you can and number 39's hold the first person and number 39's reins, try to hold the reins of one of the other 2 people, remember not to let go. Then you will see strange things happen after that. You will not regret doing so, and for the rest of your life, you will never be poor again." Having finished speaking, he greeted him and then disappeared so quickly that he didn't and #39's have time to thank him. Go-Hei immediately set out to go to the temple of the four heavenly kings in time before New Year and number 39's Eve. The temple is located in the center of the city. It started to snow, and when he arrived in front of the temple, everything was completely white. The moon came out of the clouds, illuminating the space in front of the pagoda where Go-Hei was standing, trembling from cold and excitement. He stomped his feet on the ground to warm his body and waited impatiently for the moment to come. Finally, the first bell rang, signaling the arrival of the new year. At that moment, he heard the sound of horse hooves from afar. Then in the dim light of the night, he saw 3 horsemen appear. The first person rode a golden horse. He wore a yellow robe, a yellow hat, and from his waist hung a long sword in a yellow sheath. The second person rode a beautiful white horse. His clothes looked even whiter in the moonlight than newly fallen snow. On the contrary, the third person was difficult to recognize at night, because he rode a black horse and wore all black clothes, even his beard was black. The 3 horsemen had very scary faces, so much so that Go-Hei trembled and could not move his arms or legs. By the time he began to regain his composure, the man on the yellow horse had passed him, and the man in white began to approach him. Go-Hei immediately gathered all his courage. He did not dare look at the rider but only stared at the horse. He used both hands to hold the reins, but the horse panted and neighed ferociously, causing Go-Hei to be frightened and let go of the reins. So the white-shirted knight passed by. Go-Hei sighed, because once again, he had failed in the opportunity that was at hand. But he calmed down, blocked the black horse and number 39's path, and reached out to hold the reins. The horse jumped up, broke out of his hand and disappeared into the dark night. Go-Hei was almost in tears. Now he has to live in poverty for the rest of his life, and besides, he has disappointed the good God because he wanted to help him. But suddenly he heard the sound of horse hooves echoing from afar, then saw a 4th horseman approaching. Did he miscalculate? Or maybe he was dreaming all this time and now the knights are really coming? He mustered all his courage and stepped into the middle of the road, holding tightly to the horse and number 39's reins. This time the horse did not resist, and when Go-Hei raised his eyes, he saw that the horse was gray and the rider was none other than the god of the poor. A moment later the god of the poor said, Go-Hei, Go-Hei, it and number 39's been difficult for you. I told you to hold the reins of one of the 3 horses. These are the gods of money. The first god is the god of gold, the second is the god of money, and the third is the god of bronze. If you grasp the first god, you will have gold to live out your life in wealth. As for the other 2 gods, if they can hold on, it 1 and number 39's be too bad. But once again, you were so scared that you only caught me as a poor god. However, I decided to break up with you, so I will try to help you one more time. So listen carefully. Today, at midnight, all 4 of us are back on this road. You should try your luck again, but this time be very careful. I 1 and number 39's be able to help you anymore. Okay, now let me go. Go-Hei did as he was told, and in just a moment, the horse and man disappeared. Even though he was so sad because he was blamed by the god, Go-Hei still did not lose all hope. All day, he was busy thinking about the coming evening. He was determined to hold on to the reins of the golden horse and that no matter what happened, he would not let go, not even if his life was in danger. At night, he came to the temple of the 4 heavenly kings again. The snow has melted, the ground is muddy. But it was not very hot, and because Go-Hei was so impatient to get to the temple so long before 12:00 and number 39's clock at night, when the moon appeared out of the clouds and when the bell rang for 12:00 and number 39's clock, the sky was already frosty. Just then, the knights began to appear. Go-Hei spread his legs, stopped the golden horse, gathered all his courage, and threw himself at the horse. But the horse avoided it, then jumped up and passed Go-Hei. Go-Hei was not discouraged. He said to himself, "If I cannot catch the golden horse, I must catch the silver horse." He jumped in and grabbed the reins of the white horse. But the white horse galloped quickly, the reins slipped out of Go and number 39's hand and the silver-white rider also disappeared into the dark night. Tears welled up. Go-Hei felt all hope was lost. But there is still the person riding the black horse, the god of copper coins. So Go-Hei jumped on the black horse, used all his strength to hold on to the reins. He closed his eyes, and even though the horse struggled very hard, he still refused to let go. Finally, the horse gradually reduced its resistance and stood still. When Go-Hei opened his eyes, the black-clothed horseman had disappeared. Instead of the horse and number 39's reins, he was clutching a large bag of copper coins in his hand. Just then the gray horse passed by. The god of the poor signaled a cordial greeting to Go-Hei, then followed the 3 previous gods. Go-Hei returned home happily. Even though he wouldn't and hash 39's be rich, he already had copper coins. Slowly, he repaired the house, was no longer so poor, found a wife, and lived happily for the rest of his life. Thank you for joining us for today's fairy tale. We hope these stories bring joy and meaning to your day. If you love our channel, please hit the subscribe button so you won't miss any exciting tales. Wishing you a good night and sweet dreams. See you in the next story.